Kim Sellis here from kimsellis.com. Welcome back to your online yoga practice. Today's Feel Good Slow Flow will leave you feeling long and relaxed. There's plenty of modifications sprinkled throughout, so it's suitable for beginners as well as intermediates. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel to see weekly updates. Grab a few blocks, and I'll meet you on the mat. We'll begin our practice on our mats. So finding a nice child's pose, lengthening down, or finding a nice seated position where you can lengthen the spine up. Doesn't matter. Finding whatever works for you this beautiful day, whether it be morning or evening. So again, sitting up nice and tall, shoulders away from the ears, and then soften the eyes closed. We're just going to take a few breaths here on our own in a little bit of stillness. I want you to really concentrate on the inhale coming through the nose, down the throat, sending it all the way down into the belly. And then as you exhale, finding that breath moving out of the body the same way it came in. Each time you inhale, it's a little softer. And each time you exhale, it's a little longer. Deepening the breath as you go. Each breath in longer than the last. And then just allow all the tension from the muscles to start draining out. Making a little bit of space in the body as we breathe here. Now, throughout today's practice, I'm going to be taking the medium modifications or the lower modifications, but if you want to make this practice a little stronger, feel free to modify up as you choose. I'll be giving suggestions and hints as I go, but you don't have to do anything that you don't want to. Remember that you are always in control of your practice. Taking breaks or pressing the pause button, or again, challenging yourself to make the practice a little bit more difficult. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Inhale, see if you can elongate the spine a little longer. And exhale, relax through the lower back and the shoulders. Good, inhaling. And a deep exhale. We'll find ourselves moving into an easy seated position on our sit bones. So whether you're in child's pose or sitting back on the heels or even in Sukhasana, find yourself sitting on your hips. Your legs are in front of you and your legs are hip width apart here. And I want you to sit up nice and tall, moving into figure 4. So we'll take the right ankle on top of the left knee. Hands go behind you, and you're going to lift the spine, lift through the chest. So you're pushing into the ground to lengthen the spine. And then I want you to squeeze the shoulder blades back, push the chest forward. And then maybe you're even finding yourself moving that right knee down towards the mat. Now, if you're not finding such a great stretch here, move the hips towards the feet. And then again, sit up tall, chest pushes forward, shoulders squeeze back. If you're still looking for a little bit more, maybe you're taking that right flexed foot on your left knee and taking it towards the left side of your mat, just a little bit here. Soften the eyes, close if you choose, but we're going to take 2 more breaths. Breathing in, just allowing that right hip to open, breathing out, breathing in, and breathing out. Gently releasing that foot, and we'll find ourselves just switching to the left hand. Ankle, right knee, again, sitting up nice and tall, lifting through the chest and the spine, shoulders pull back. And again, if you're looking for more stretch, move the hips towards the feet, or you're maybe even taking that left flexed foot towards the right side of your mat. But wherever you are, you're keeping that foot on the top flexed. Good, holding here. Breathing in. Breathing out. Just allow all that tension to just melt away. Last deep inhale. And when you're ready, slowly releasing. So again, still on your sit bones, I want you to grab your shins actually, pull your chest forward, lengthen the spine up. So you're sitting really nice and tall, and you're trying to take that pelvic bowl and lift it up and forward here. So we're going to gain a little bit of strength through our lower back, no curvature in the lower back, and then slowly come to our tippy toes, finding a little balance on our sit bones here. Navasana. When you have that, see if you can let the knees go. If not, you can hold on to the knees. Maybe you're even taking the feet a little bit up. Maybe you're lifting the hands and lifting the feet towards the air. We're just going to hold here. Keep lengthening through the spine, lifting through the chest. I'll count you down for 10, 9, keep breathing, 8, 7, take a mini break if you need it, 6, 5, 4, lengthen it up, 3, 2, 1. When you're ready, set the feet down. Just fall forward over those knees. Let the head be heavy. Find stretch through the upper part of the back. And then we'll find ourselves in a little straddle. I'll just face this way so you can see. But little. We're talking little here. So even though you can probably get your legs a little wider, don't. Same thing here. I want you to lengthen up through the spine, tip the pelvic bowl forward so you're sitting up tall, flatten out and lengthen through the lower back. And then when you're ready, slowly just fold forward, just a little bit here though, just enough to find a little bit of stretch through the hamstrings. You're still lengthening the spine forward, chest is forward. So we're not rounding anything. Now when you're ready, we're going to take our hands in the middle. Take a deep breath in, lengthen through the spine. As you exhale, walk your hands over to the right inside foot. And then you're going to take the left hand and you're going to lift and roll open that left top shoulder. So you're trying to find a little bit of twist and opening through the side waist and the shoulder as you're pushing the left hip down into the mat. Now, as you exhale, you're going to roll down towards the middle. Walk your hands to the left, and this time the right hand is going to lift and spiral open. Look underneath that top right armpit. Good. Push that right hip down. Exhale, lower to the middle. Inhale, lift and open towards the right. Sync it with your breath now. Exhale, down. Inhale, lift to the left. Open. Roll that top shoulder open. That means you might need to lift up a little bit. That's okay. Exhale, down. Rolling open. Now just move with your breath here. You don't have to stay with me, but make the movements bigger. So each time you find a little bit more length, a little bit more openness, and a little bit more depth. We'll take one more round, rolling to the right and open, and rolling to the left. Good. Rolling back forward and center. Drop the head down, release the neck. Find the stretch to the upper part of the back. Maybe flex the feet here. Finding a little bit more activation through the hamstrings. And then when you're ready, we'll slowly walk our hands back to center and up, lifting through the chest. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Good. Cross at the ankles. We'll find ourselves in a tabletop position, finding those cat-cows. They're one of my favorites. Great way to open up through the spine. So stacking the joints, shoulders and wrists, hips and knees, spread the fingers really wide here. And then I want you to drop the belly, curl the hips up, slightly bend through the elbows as you pull the chest forward, finding that cow pose. And then as you exhale, straighten the arms, push the hands into the mat, round and push the ground away. So round the shoulders, push the ground away. Everything lifts towards the ceiling. Pull the belly button into the spine. Cat pose. As you inhale, drop the belly, lift the hips, micro bend in the elbows, pull the chest forward. Exhale, round up towards the ceiling. Chin pulls into the chest. Exhale. Good. Keep going. Inhale. Curl the hips up. Exhale. Round. Tuck the tailbone under. We'll do one more here. Inhale. Drop the belly. Lift the hips. Pull the chest forward. Exhale. Round and push. Good. Just coming back to a neutral spine here. I just want to make sure that your shoulders are engaged and holding where they need to be. So wing the elbows out to the side here and then pull the elbows in together behind you, squeezing the elbows together and behind. Now from here, readjust the fingertips, spread them wide. Fingertips are squeezing into the mat. Push their hands into the mat, float the knees, and find yourself pushing back in a downward facing dog. Now we outwardly rotated the shoulders here. So your shoulder blades should be feeling quite flat and twisting open on the back of your spine. Lengthen through the tailbone, lengthen through the spine, belly button pulls in, and then just let the heels fall where they may. Maybe you've got a little slight bend in the knees. That's okay. Pedal everything out. Switch the hips from side to side. And then when you're ready, find a little bit of stillness. We'll take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, roll forward into plank pose. Whether it's a kneeling plank or full plank, readjust those feet if you need to. Push the ground away, doming through the shoulders. Squeeze the hip bones towards the elbows, butt cheeks squeeze together. You're activating and lifting through the kneecaps. And then see if you can take your feet and pull the mat apart. So ripping the mat down the middle of the mat. Deep breath in here. As you exhale, downward facing dog. Good, we'll do that again. Inhale, ripple through plank. You can be in a kneeling plank or full plank, doesn't matter. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good, inhale, ripple through plank. I'm going to drop my knees here. You can stay in full plank if you choose. Slowly shift the shoulders over the wrists and then bend the elbows back. Squeeze your elbows into the sideways as you lower all the way down to that chaturanga. Inhale, tops the feet push into the floor, pushing your pubic bone into the floor, lifting the kneecaps up off the floor, and then gain strength in the lower back. Find that baby cobra. So push the chest forward, squeeze the shoulder blades back behind you. Deep breath in, lengthen through the crown of the head. Deep breath out. One more deep breath in. Good. When you're ready, curl the toes under. Find yourself moving back into that downward facing dog. All right, reset. Make that downward facing dog comfortable. Inhale, looking at your fingertips, step, jump, walk, float, doesn't matter, to the top of your mat, toes to touch, a little bit of space between the heels. We'll inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. The spine is lengthening forward, shoulders away from the ears. Your knees can be bent or straight, doesn't matter. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, push down to the feet, reach up towards the ceiling, scoop all the energy up around you. And then as you exhale, let's just dive forward again. Uttanasana. Inhale, lifting halfway, flat back. As you exhale, plant the hands, step or jump right back into your plank or your kneeling plank. As you're ready, shoulders move over the wrists. Exhale, lower the belly down. Inhale, baby cobra or up dog, your choice. And as you exhale, curl the toes under. Find that downward facing dog. Good, let's go one more round. Inhale, look at your fingers, step, jump, or float to the top of your mat. Inhale to lift. Exhale to fold. Good, inhale, root to rise, lift and reach. Gather everything around you, and as you exhale, swan dive forward. Good, inhale, lifting halfway again. Exhale, plant the hands, step or float back to plank. Take an extra breath if you need it. Otherwise, lower down as you choose, or find a cat-cow, or just meet us in down dog. Inhale, find your back bend. Remember, the shoulders are squeezing back, the chest is pushing forward, and you're lengthening through the crown of the head, all meeting back in downward facing dog. Deep breath in through the nose. Deep breath out. Inhale, lift your right leg, open the hip, bend the knee, open the hip, re-square off through the shoulders. So you're putting even pressure into both hands. And you're trying to get that right foot all the way to the left shoulder. Deep breath in, Deep breath out. As you exhale, that right foot's going to step all the way forward towards the right hand. Drop the left knee. We'll come into Anjani-asana here. So push everything back. Tuck the tailbone under. Lengthen through the spine. Lift the hands towards the ceiling. And then see if you can push the hips a little bit forward before you melt everything forward and down. So we're trying to find a little bit of core here. So you're still pushing the belly button into the spine. Don't relax everything and find release in the abs, right? And just dump all into the back. You still want to have a little bit of core activation here, tucking the tailbone under. Deep breath in. As you exhale, both hands plant, back foot steps forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Good. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise. Good. Exhale, forward fold. Left foot steps back. Drop that left knee. We'll find an Anjani-asana one more time. Keep activation through the core. Good. When you're ready, plant the hands. Just step that right foot back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Inhale, left leg rises. Bend the knee, open the hip. So you're trying to stack the left hip on top of the right hip, finding twist through the hips, maybe a little bit into the lower back, but not in the shoulders. So the shoulders are even. The shoulders are downward dog shoulders, right? Keep pushing the hands evenly into the mat. That left shoulder wants to be at the same height as the right shoulder. And then take that left foot all the way to the right shoulder. Deep breath in. As you exhale, step that left foot all the way forward. Plant the right knee. Inhale, lifting everything up. Belly button pulls in the spine. Tighten up through the core. Tuck the tailbone under. Lift. Find that stretch through the right hip flexor. If you can't find it there and you need a little more, then start pushing the hips forward and down. But just be mindful that front knee stays on the ankle. Good. One more breath. Both hands plant, back foot steps forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Good. Inhale, lifting. Root to rise. As you exhale, forward fold. Good. Right foot steps back. Same place we were. Anjani-asana. Everything lifts. Tuck the tailbone and then move. Exhale, plant the hands. Curl the back toes under, right back into your downward facing dog. So let's do that one more time, just a little bit faster. Again, trying not to dump into the lower back onto those Anjani-asana lunges. When you're ready, just inhale, right leg lifts. As you exhale, step the right foot forward, back knee down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, find stretch. Good. Exhale, plant hands. Back foot steps forward. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lifting halfway. Left foot steps back. Drop the left knee. Inhale to lift the spine. Pull the tailbone under. Exhale, sink into that stretch. Good. When you're ready, hands plant. Step right back in a down dog. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, step forward. Right knee drops. Inhale, lifting everything. Tuck the tailbone under. Activation through the core. Exhale, sink and stretch. Good. Plant the hands. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, reach. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, right leg back. Inhale, lift you up. Tuck the tailbone under. Exhale, sink into that stretch. Remember, the hips are square. Right hip pulling forward, left back. Exhale, hands plant. Step right back, downward facing dog. 2 breaths here. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Let's keep moving. Inhale, right leg lifts. As you exhale, step that foot forward. We'll find ourselves in warrior two. So back heel spins down, cartwheeling the hands open. Your hips are to the side here. Remember to stack that front knee and front ankle. They're in the same line. Roll the thighs open. So your knees are going to roll open to the right side of your mat, the side that's behind you. Shoulders are away from the ears. Sink the hips low. And keep pushing through the outer edge of that back heel. Flip the front palm. Keep the legs where they are. Inhale, reach for the ceiling or find a little bit of a back bend. Exhale, warrior two. One more time. Don't move that front knee. Inhale, lift. Reach. Exhale, warrior two. Straighten that front leg. Tip the pelvic bowl forward. Reach to the top of your mat. And then when you're ready, find that triangle pose. So using blocks if you need them. Right? I like to place the block behind me, but if it's more comfortable to place the block in front of you. Remember, there's 3 sides to your block. Top hands are lifting up to the ceiling. You're rolling the shoulders open. You're stacking that left shoulder right on top of the right. Crown of the head is reaching forward. You're pushing down through that back foot, and then see if you can lift that very last rib, the rib closest to that left hip. Lift it. One more breath. When you're ready, slowly come back up to standing. Move that block out of the way if you had one. And then the hand behind you, the left hand is going to come down and forward, and you're going to take the left hip forward with you. Now you're on the back right toes. Bend into the front knee. You're in crescent lunge here. So once you find that lunge, readjust the feet if you need to. Squeeze in through the inner thighs. Right hip is pulling back, and then you're pulling the belly button into the spine. So don't push the belly button forward to find more space. Pull it back. If it puts a little micro bend in the knee, that's okay. Deep breath in. As you exhale, hands come down to heart center. Good, let's find a twist. Left elbow, right knee. Once you have the connection there, the top hand pushes into the bottom hand to lift you up and rotate you round. See if you can look on that top right shoulder. If this is too much for you, drop your back knee. No big deal. Slow the breath. Maybe smile. Last breath. And then wherever you are, release the hands, place the hands in front of you on the mat. And you're going to float that back foot into standing split. Now I'll let you choose here. You can open the hip, finding a whole lot of extra stretch, or you can keep the hips closed with the toe and the back pointing down. But wherever you are, I want you to start working your head down towards the mat. So if you're still on a block, that's okay. No worries. Just keep lifting that back leg. Those of you wanting a little bit more, maybe you're finding a balance wrapping both hands behind that standing heel. Wherever you are, let the head go heavy. Last breath. And then that top floating leg is going to move towards the right side of your mat. You're going to step behind the standing leg and then move it towards the right side of your mat and have a seat. So you might look a little like this. The right or the left ankle is really pulled into the butt and the right knee is on top. That's all right. What I want you to do is try to get the sit bones on the mat. Now, if you have the ability to wing out both feet into the full cow face pose, that's cool with me. But if this left foot is still pulled in, that's all right. Flex both feet, sit up nice and tall. You should feel a little sensation stretch through the hips, maybe even in the lower back. Lift through the spine, and then as you exhale, keep reaching. The lower back is lengthening as you fold forward. And you might not have to go very far to find that sensation. Last couple breaths here, and then we'll take a little breather. You can come out at any time if it's uncomfortable. Slowly lifting back up, we're going to add a shoulder stretch into the mix. So if this was enough for you and you just want to stay with just the folding forward, do that. Otherwise, the right hand is going to come behind the back, all the way behind the back. And I'm going to grab my left elbow or maybe my forearm or my wrist. And I'm going to see if I can pull the left hand forward. And what that's going to do is stretch my right shoulder behind me. So again, sitting up nice and tall here, keep stretch of that shoulder and then move forward. Now you can play here. The left hand can maybe grab the shin and intensify the stretch. If you're someone who's very mobile and you're not finding any stretch here, then take cow face arms. Left hand up, right hand under, and you're going to try and connect those hands together. So any shoulder stretch here will work. Maybe just takes a little bit of focus on the intense stretch on the hips. Now we'll just take one more breath. And slowly coming up. Release the hands. Release the legs out in front of you. Just give them a nice little shake. And then we'll cross at the ankles and start the left hand side. So if you're someone who wants to sneak in a vinyasa before we start that left hand side, you have time. Everyone else, we're just meeting back in downward facing dog. Now remember, we're outwardly rotating the shoulders. So see if you can spiral the biceps open towards the ceiling and push the ground away. You're trying to flatten the shoulder blades on the back. All right, let's take 2 breaths in together. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Good. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Good. Inhale. Left leg lifts. Lift, 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 lift. And as you exhale, step it forward, finding that warrior 2 on the left-hand side. So again, the front knee is stacked on top of that ankle. You're pushing down through the outer edge of that back foot, and you're trying to open the hips, rolling them open. So check and make sure that that front knee isn't pulling in, it's pushing out. And then sinking the hips down. Shoulders away from the ears. Hands are reaching on opposite sides. Smile. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. We're going to flip that front palm. Inhale, reverse. So you're either just reaching and lifting up to the ceiling, finding length through the side twist, or maybe you're finding just a little bit of a back bend. As you exhale, warrior 2, one more time. Inhale, flip the front palm, reach and lift. Exhale, right back to warrior 2. Good. Straighten the front leg, tip the pelvic bowl forward, reach, and we'll find that triangle pose. So again, using a block if you need to. And if you're way up here, that's okay. The most important thing is to spiral open the shoulders, spiral open the hip, right? So if you're someone who's up here and is spiraled open, that's the place for you. If you're down low and your shoulder is starting to drop and you can't quite roll it open, lift. And then of course, those of you working on those floating triangles, that option is available for you as well. We're just going to take a few more breaths here. So pushing down through that back heel. And then again, think of the last rib, the rib closest to the hips. And then see if you can lift it. Just find a little extra length here through the hip and the rib cage. Stacking everything, rolling everything open. Last breath. Good. When you're ready, slowly use the strength of your legs to lift you back up. This time, the right hand is going to go down and it's going to take the right hip with it. You're going to pop the back heel and bend into the front knee. We're going to find that high lunge. So again, you're squeezing the inner thighs. This time, the left hip is pulling back and the torso is pulling into the spine, maybe a little slight tuck of the tailbone. Okay, inhale to lift the spine. As you exhale, hands through heart center. We'll take that twist. Right elbow, left knee. And then again, the top hand is going to push onto the bottom hand. You're going to push away from that front knee. So lift up and off and rotate round. Again, you can drop that back knee if you need to. Maybe you're even taking your gaze over the top left shoulder. And we're slowing the breath. Breathing gets hard in those twisting poses. So I really want you to make sure that you're finding the deepest breath you can. So since the belly's all twisted up and it can't take a big belly breath for you, you're going to have to start moving the rib cage, moving all of those muscles, the intercostals in between each rib. Tell them to start working for you here. Move the breath. Last deep inhale. Last deep exhale. And we're going to go ahead and release. Plant your hands onto the mat and then float the back foot. So again, I'll let you choose whether you open your hips or you're keeping your hips closed. It doesn't matter. Maybe we're just focusing on that standing leg today, trying to keep it straight and long. Whether you're lifting up on a block or reaching down towards the heel, the standing heel, maybe you're even finding a little bit of a balance here. You choose. Keep lengthening. Keep taking that top leg a little bit higher, Challenge yourself. Just a couple breaths here. We're going to change quickly. So just a little bit more extra effort. And then when you're ready, that right floating leg steps behind the standing leg and moves to the left side of your mat. And you're going to come down and have a seat. So again, I will move this way so you can see a little bit better. But if your right foot is close to your hip, that's all right. Just make sure both feet are flexed and you're finding a little bit of comfortable place. But what I really want you to focus on is trying to get this left hip down. So I have to move my foot a little bit out of the way so I can sit on both hips. Then I reflex my feet. And again, if you're someone who's super flexible, that can wing out, stack the knees together and can wing out the feet, that option is available for you as well. So again, sitting up nice and tall, we'll just take the fold forward to begin with. Fold, fold, fold. Keep lengthening through the crown of the head. Don't roll the neck and the shoulders down just yet. Lengthen. And then see if you can relax the hips, relax the thighs. We hold tension there when we're trying to stretch, and it's counterproductive. So just let go. And if that means coming up a little bit out of the stretch, then come up. We'll take just a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Good. And then when you're ready, coming up. So we'll take that shoulder stretch again. You choose whether you're taking cow face pose. This time the right arm will be up, the left arm will be behind. Otherwise, we're just going to reach the left hand all the way behind, and I'm going to bind it up to my right elbow or to my right forearm, maybe even my right bicep if I can get it all the way up there. And then I take my right hand forward. So by moving my right hand forward, it's going to pull my left shoulder back. And again, sitting up nice and tall, and then floating forward, again, extending through the lower back and the chest. So this stretch is very intense for me today. I'm really tight through the hips. I'm always tight through the hips, but today especially. So if you don't go to where you normally go, just accept where you are today. There's no sense in pushing past that edge and ripping and tearing muscle tissue. And that's how we injure ourselves. And then we're out for a couple weeks, maybe a couple months. So it's better to back off a little bit and take those baby steps rather than giving into our ego and pushing forward. Last deep breath here. And then as you're ready, slowly coming up. Release the shoulders and take the legs out in front. Just give them a nice little shake. Okay, here we go again. Feet should be at the top of your mat, and we're just going to find ourselves lowering onto our backs. We'll just find a quick and easy bridge pose here. So feet are hip width apart, knees are pointing up towards the ceiling, and your toes are pointing forward. Make sure that your toes do not go out to the diagonal. Everything is pointing to the top of your mat. You're going to push your feet into the mat to lift through the hips. Now keep a little bit of pressure through the inner thighs, kind of like you're squeezing a block in between your thighs so they don't splay outward. You want to keep that activation on the inner thighs. Lift through the hips, lift through the hips. Now you can keep your hands on the mat. Maybe you're binding them up underneath you. Maybe you're rolling onto the tops of the shoulders. Those of you who want to continue on to bridge pose, hands come behind, shoulders up, and then just pushing up into that wheel. Otherwise, we're just going to hold here. Keep lifting the hips up. Now push down through the feet to lift the hips. Just soften the breath. Let's take one more breath, deep breath in. And as you exhale, slowly release. Each vertebra comes down. The lower back is the last thing to come. And then take your feet really wide as your mat. And then I want you to take one knee in, one knee out, and then switch. So windshield wipering those knees side to side. Good. And then when you're ready, take the knees into the chest and just gently rocking and rolling back to center, back to a seat. And we'll find ourselves in that straddle pose, just like in the beginning of class. This time, maybe taking it a little bit wider. I'm not going to take it too wide today, but maybe just taking it a little bit wider or to your comfort spot. Now, again, if you're really tight through the hamstrings, you can always bend up through the knees and you can be really, not in a big straddle at all. Just take it to where you need to go. So the same thing, just like the beginning of class, we're going to walk our hands forward. We're going to lengthen out through the lower back. We're going to try and tip our pelvic bowl forward to find a little bit more length. So lengthen through the crown of the head, lengthen through the chest. Then both hands walk over to the right. Left hand lifts, roll open. And as you exhale, you're going to sweep all the way forward and to the left. Right lifts and opens. Good. Exhale down and forward to the right and lift. Exhale down and forward to the left and lift. Let's go one more round to the right and to the left. And then as you're ready, slowly walking back center. And we'll hold here. So I'll leave it up to you whether you want to keep lengthening the spine forward, pulling the hips, pelvic bowl forward. So tipping that pelvic bowl, or if it's more comfortable for you to just round through the chest and the neck and the head and find the stretch through the upper part of the back as well. So you choose here. Maybe you're flexing and pointing the toes. Let's just take one more breath, find length. And then as you're ready, slowly walking the hands back underneath you to lift. So trying to keep the lower back soft. No, the lower back doesn't need to work. Just use the hands to walk you up. Feet coming together, give them a quick little shake. And then again, we'll find ourselves on our back. So finding yourself on your back, pull your knees into your chest, flatten the lower back. Take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, open the mouth and find that Shavasana. So that comfortable position that only you know about. The only thing that I ask is that the palms of the hands are facing the ceiling and that you gently walk the shoulder blades down the back. Take your focus to the belly. Allow the belly to grow big as you inhale. And allow the belly to sink as you exhale. Inhaling and exhaling. And just draw in your mind's eye your belly rising as you inhale and the belly falling on the exhale. Allow yourself to slow the breath down. Allowing your muscles to start releasing until you feel everything just melting into your mat, coming undone and letting go. Find a little bit of stillness and peace. Just keep breathing. And only when you're ready, take a deep breath in through the nose, open the mouth and let it go. Allowing yourself to maybe wiggle out the fingers and the toes, moving the muscles just gently and slowly. Allowing everything to come back. And then when you are ready, pull your knees into your chest. Either stay here or roll to one side. And I just want you to take 2 breaths on your own. Allow yourself to really notice how you feel right now. Maybe you're feeling tired. Maybe you're feeling open, maybe energized. And we'll slowly start to meet in that easy seated position, either Sukhasana or any other seated pose that feels comfortable to you. Sitting up nice and tall, we'll just take one deep breath in. Open the mouth, let it go. Thank you for sharing this practice with me. Namaste.